So a day before the wedding, how are y'all feeling?
Great.
Great.
Really excited. I was just telling Heidi, like, I woke up this morning and I was like, it's tomorrow. So yeah, it was definitely, it's here, and it's weird because it's always been so far away, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to not be so far away now, it's
Yeah.
still kind of getting used to.
Yeah. Like on my phone, I have like a little widget and it tells me like the countdown for every day. So I mean, I remember we started that when it was like, because we got engaged back in like December. And so it's been like 109 days. And like, I just remember the counting, and we've done like a psalm a day, starting back from like 150 and reading chronologically backwards. And so now today is Psalm 1 and tomorrow will be Psalm 0 because we're not even reading anything anymore. It's crazy. I've been waking up in the night. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like literally tomorrow. It's just crazy. Yeah, and it was fun, like having, that's a different story, but having all of his family in town, and they were asking me, like, you're getting married in 2 days, and it's just weird that it's so close. It feels surreal. It doesn't feel like it's actually happening. I'm trying to slow down.
When did that like, it's almost surreal, when did that start hitting? Did it just now, or was that something where it kind of came up a little bit as a week or two before, or you're like, oh my gosh, this is almost here? Does that just happen, or has that kind of been, when did that start?
For me,
It just happened.
yeah, for me it just happened, but there are definitely like moments where it's like, oh my gosh, and then it's like, oh, but it's still 114 days away. Oh, it's still 84
Gosh, this previous
days.
week he was calling me and he was like, oh yeah, like, it's like, I'm like, dude, we're only 3 days or 4 days away. He's like, that's still so long. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me? We're less than a week. And I'm like, I'm over here. I'm like, oh my word. I only have a few more sleeps left. But I think it's because I'm in Texas, in Flower Mound. You had work. And so you were doing things. And he was like, he even had to work yesterday. He had to work yesterday. Yeah, and today's rehearsal dinner day. So, yeah. Thank goodness you're able to leave earlier. That's good. But no, it's just really funny. For me, it's been like, ups and downs and stuff. For the past, I think the past week was when it happened, because so I've been in 3 weddings this summer so far, like Haven and Jenna and Laura and all of them. And for me, I was like, I need to get through those weddings. And once those weddings end, and all of that, once those end, I was like, okay, then it's my own. And so Haven's was the last one, and that was the only one Aidan was able to go to with me with. But like, because that was the last one, that was about a couple weeks ago. And once hers was over, I was like, oh, I'm next. Yeah, and I was like, okay, once hers is done, it started to become real. And like when we had our like final planning things and conversations with other people about like more details, like specifics, and making the 6-page spreadsheet that I did. I was not expecting to do that at all. It's just, it's really funny doing all those things and the little stuff. It's like, oh, like it's coming soon. Literally tomorrow.
Was there anything in those weddings that you were in that made you change your planning? Like, I will not do that. What were some of those things?
Yeah, totally. It's so funny. Aidan's so good about it, and I'm my biggest prayer going into each of them. I was like, God, I don't want to like be thinking about myself, but it's only natural because it's like it's literally my wedding month, and I'm like, but I'm here for Haven. I'm here for Laura. But I was like, nah, it's like, I kind of was thinking back in my mind, especially because Haven was like the same like vendor package as me. She did Walter weddings. It was just a different venue. She did the same breakfast we would do. So I'm like eating this, and I'm like, this is interesting. So, well, my guests will be eating, And I even mentioned it to Aidan, and I'm like, so what do you think? And he's like, how do you know? And I was like, he's good. And so we debriefed afterwards at Panera, and we're like, he's like, okay, now we can talk about it. I was like, okay, finally. I was like, okay, here's all my thoughts. Here's what I've been thinking. So there's been like little things here and there, little details. Like for instance, when I've been making my like 6-page, spreadsheet, whatever document, task sheet, on the very last page, I just like said like what for packing instructions, like what is going to go into each car, what's going to go into Kirsten's car, what's going to go into Mom's, what's going to go into Aidan's, because what I came to find is like at the end of the wedding, the bride and groom are gone. Like I forget about that part, but it's like bye, and you don't see them anymore. Also, I forgot to say goodbye to like a good amount of them, so I was like, oh, they're leaving for the honeymoon. I'm not going to see them, But they're not there to help clean up, and they're the ones that like are the masterminds for the most part of like what is what and what goes where. And so, as far as like a change I made in light of like the weddings I've been to, or adjustment, I was able to. I have a list of all the things that are what we brought to the wedding, and then from that I like did like what goes into Kirsten's car, what goes into Aidan's, what goes into Mom's. And I like labeled things and stuff because also like labeling boxes are like what makes sense and yeah, down to the little detail.
She is very organized.
But trying to make it because really like I'm not like a bridezilla. Like if it doesn't come to pass, it doesn't come to pass. Like I don't care. Things are gonna go wrong. It's gonna happen. But I think though I'm just like the less that people have to like come to ask questions about. And just to make it simple for them and their lives.
Yes,
yeah, because like Daniel came out to me the other day. He's like, I know exactly what I'm doing. Because I literally, okay, I'm making this really long answer. But basically I gave him like I said, okay, on your desk in your bedroom in an envelope that says Daniel receipts. You'll get those receipts. You'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, say your name Daniel. And I gave him the address of the Dunkin' Donuts at 6:30 a.m. You'll get the 500 donut holes. Then from there, you're going to go to Einstein Bagels. And you're going to go and say Daniel, and then you'll pick up the order. At this address. Right after you go. Because I was like, okay, on his way back, that'd be better. And then you'll make your way with the food to the venue.
So if he messes up, then we really can't.
I'm like, I'll lay down everything for you.
And that's just one example of everybody, every item and thing and setup. And
I had the time. It's summertime. I'm sure if I was like doing my job or something, and I get it for brides that I touched it, whoops. But because of that, it's So So that's the adjustment I guess I made as far as changes from weddings. But did you make any changes?
No. I didn't go to a lot of her friends' weddings, but I did go to Hayden's.
You did.
And Logan. Shout out to Hayden and Logan. And I loved their wedding video and their rehearsal dinner night. And my mom made a video for us. And then I sent more pictures when she already finished the video. So she was like, "Are you kidding me? I gotta redo it now." So
she's like, "Shannon's in Ireland, and she was the one that helped me with this, and it's already on a USB." And so we're like, "Please."
And she did. And we haven't seen it, so we're excited to see it
today. It includes the first today. I'm like, oh,
so
I'm ready to eat.
Wow. Yeah.
Some good Western food.
But no, Heidi is definitely like super organized and makes it very easy with all the wedding planning.
I can be organized when I have to be, but I'm no Kirsten. Kirsten is like a wedding planner, when to do hospitality management, like that's her thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Was there anything during the engagement season that you all found surprising in the wedding planning that was like hard or actually you really enjoyed about it?
That's a good question.
It was surprisingly, I don't know if it's just because I didn't do anything, but it was very simple and very, I don't know what I have to say, but just very organized. And I think with our venue that we got, it's just like, hey, here are your vendors, here are your options. Like, you pick from this field, you pick these flowers. It was like, oh, let's wait, you know. Didn't have to like find people, figure out, compare a bunch of different prices of different vendors.
That's true. That's true.
And so, I don't know, on my end, they seem very organized and on top of it. Besides the tuxes, but that's a different story. But
yeah, surprising during the engagement process.
For wedding planning.
Or wedding planning. Or
the engagement too.
Or engagement. Oh, good point. Yeah, I guess the planning. That surprised me was. I thought there would be less decisions I'd had to make. So a little bit different. Because when we signed up, we did it before we were engaged. Mom and I went out to this venue, and it was so sweet. Like we were just looking around. I didn't even tell Aidan I was looking at venues or anything, and I was like, hey, so we're actually out and about, and there's this venue, and it has one Saturday available, and we actually got it. And Mom already put down a deposit and everything, and I hope you're okay with that. And he was like so overthrilled and excited and happy, but I was like so nervous. But besides the point, when we went there, Mom and I,
and for context, we were already planning.
Yes.
During the summer engaging. She wasn't like, hey, catch a hint. Like.
But no, I actually had no idea. That's a different story. I had no idea who was going to engage in December. But Oh, that was my train of thought. But when we were there, they were like telling us about the package, telling us about like all the different vendors, kind of like what just Aidan just mentioned. And I was thinking, oh yeah, like okay, so like everything's kind of chosen for me. But there's like even things with having all the vendors that you still have to make decisions. And so I was thinking that I would just be like over here sitting my loyals and be like, ooh, I'll have the brownies and the cake. I don't know, you know. But it's like, which I still kind of did, but it was still like. Had to be on top of some people. There was some issues with the tux, which we got now. Woo! But yeah, so there's like some little things with that. But as far as like the engagement, something that's been surprising. I don't know. Do you think anything like actually with us?
It felt
relationship?
so. It was 6 months. So we had a 6-month engagement, and I thought that was short, and I think it felt very long. And looking back, I think it was perfect. Amount of time, at least in our situation.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, but it was fun doing I love doing like the premarital, like we had like a list of questions and like counselings and like we read a couple of different books from some Christian authors that wrote on marriage, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Was there anything surprising in that you learned about each other during that time?
You know, I thought I would learn more. I don't know. Like everyone says in premarital counseling, like the truth comes out. And it's like, you know, stuff is like left out, and you know, you really find out who you're truly marrying. And it's not really actually like that, but it's like you just hear stories where like, yeah, in premarital counseling, like I really discovered some things. I'm like, dang, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. Like it was, you know, I don't know. What do you say? Anything that like came out? I can't think.
No, I don't think.
I mean,
Maybe
that's
not.
I don't think there was any. Like,
there wasn't any. Yeah.
I think it was really good to get.
It was just good to have.
things.
Oh yeah, like the expectation that was cool. So I mean, y'all done merge, or did you do merge? No, you did.
You did one through that Bible.
You did
but
Bible.
Similar
concept.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but there's like the expectations module. I don't know, topic section, and they do. It's like, gosh, like 4 pages, like. Gosh, over 100 questions of just like little minute details, and I eat that up. I love that. I love finding out new things about Aidan and things that like I haven't known because, yeah. And so it's just fun to like be like, okay, like how do you use your toothpaste? Like it goes to such specific questions. Like it's like, do you squeeze it? Do you like do it the nice way like my brother does it? He's like, why? Who touched my toothpaste? So I'm looking at True right now because he always knows.
Is the fan on at night or is the fan off?
Oh, the fan on at night.
Right
or like
side, left side.
the lighting and the, like what do we like? I don't know. Like I mean, I hate overhead lights. Like I detest them. Especially Aidan knows. Like it's the what kind of lights do I hate? Like it's the white lights all the way. Like it's just I feel like I'm in a noir. It's terrible. I need natural. I need yellow. I need soothing, calming vibes. I don't want to. Yeah, Dad has this one light in the kitchen, and it's like every time he turns it on, I'm like, ah. It's like,
and it's definitely rubbing off on me now, and now I'm like, oh, white lights, like,
yeah.
Before I didn't care, but now I'm like.
So it's just fun details and things like that.
Rubbing off on me.
We've been finding that.
What I think through the books and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was really cool to just hear a biblical.
Yeah.
Different case for marriage. You know, you have like the popular passages like Ephesians 5, you know.
Love that passage.
But it was really cool to just see how marriage was in like the Old Testament and like the theme and like the Revelation, you know, and
yes, marriage supper of the Lamb.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. And it was like my favorite theme that I loved was from the Tim Keller book, The Meaning of Marriage, and how he talked about, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it was basically how, like, marrying someone is like you see who they're becoming, like you see, like, sanctification.
I love that. Yes.
And then,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, and then he, like, had this cool, like, illustration of, like, once you get to heaven, you can, like, look and you will know, like, you will see the completion of the illustration. Even
and you're like, no, and I saw what God was doing on you on earth, and, like, I forgot what it was, but it's like, and I got to see that, and now I get to see it in full. I don't know, or something.
Yeah, it was, I think it was that.
It was beautiful.
And it was really cool, and I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And
like being a part of, like.
And I think it was really good those books are just like the constant reminder of,
Yeah.
hey, marriage is about God, not ourselves, not the wedding, not the
Yeah.
all the little details. And so that was always a good reminder.
Yeah. Just like the
yes.
purpose, the why,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
the heart behind it.
Yeah, it's more about your holiness
Wholeness
than
and your
your
happiness.
happiness.
Yes,
And
yes.
so you don't look to that other person to find your completion. This person, no.
Oh
no.
yeah.
It's a neat thing to where you
Goodness.
two get to work together
Yeah.
to run after the Lord together, and clearly that's an aspect of how we
Yeah.
grow to look more like Christ.
Yeah.
And so it's really neat to think about that
Yeah.
in this time in both of your lives,
Mhm.
that God saw fit to bring you together now for the completion of your sanctification as you
Yeah.
continue to live. But it was
Yeah.
Aidan had to get to this point, Heidi had to get to this point, and now for y'all together you continue on.
Yeah.
So it's really neat to think about that, to what you had to learn prior, what he had planned for you up to this point, and now the road continues, but y'all get to lock hands
Yeah.
as you go.
Yeah.
And
And I
so-
just think
Good.
it's like such a cool, I don't know, I think I was writing Aidan's letter for the wedding, I'm not going to give it all away, but I'm like, what a cool opportunity and honor to be used by God in this way, and to like see, like you kind of mentioned it with the Tim Keller quote, like to see what God is doing in the other person, and to be a part of that in some way, shape, or form, and sharpening them and bringing them closer to look more like Christ. And likewise for me, and I don't know, and it's so cool because it's like we get to love like Christ loves us, like, you know, and to love, I mean, not that we haven't done that up until now, we obviously have, but in a more, I feel like, just real and raw way of just like, man, like every day, in order to truly find joy, it's like exercising self-forgetfulness, forgetting about my wants and my needs, and thinking more highly of yourself, like doing nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, with humility in mind, regarding him as more important than myself, and like in the same way Christ doing that. And I don't know, and so it's such a funny concept, because it's like, when I like how C.S. Lewis describes it, of like, when you seek after comfort you get nothing, but it's like when you seek after, I don't know, like the Lord or something, or someone else, I forget how he phrases it, you get comfort and everything wrapped up in it. And so it's just like, I find so much of just like, when I'm trying to love somebody or someone for my own self, or when I'm trying to just like do something for my own selfish needs, or forget about them, it's like, it's so exhausting, it's so tiring. I feel like I'm striving, but when I'm just doing it for them, what joy I find, what happiness, and being like, wow, like, and I feel so loved in it too. It's like when it's funny how like what God mentions in his word about like laying down your life for the other person, all that stuff, it's like, yes, he commands it, and he wants it for us, but it's like, it's truly for our best good, and how we were meant to be created. We were created to worship, created for him. And so when we do that and regard others as like more important, I could get preachy. But I don't know. All that to say, I'm just excited, and I'm excited too, I guess, in the spiritual sense of things with marriage. I just like, I know this is weird, and I probably won't always say this in marriage, and it'll probably be difficult, but like, man, what like sins are lurking in my heart that I'm unaware of that will come out in marriage? Like, what are the selfishness that people talk about? Like, what? I'm sure I'm selfish, and I know I am, but
take comfort in that. That's part of what the purpose is for. It's a crash course in selflessness.
Yeah.
And so basically, for you to
I can say all these things now, and I'll be like in marriage, I'll be like, oh, ouch, that stings. It's like, I know you were hurt by what I said, but like, man, I meant it. Like, it's still like really trying to learn as I go. So that's what we talk about, grace, and more grace, and just, because I'm like, I'm gonna fail you so many times. I am a sinner, you are a sinner, but that's good.
Yeah. So I think something we're kind of curious about, you may not have ever thought about it, but what would you want your 25 years from now self know and remember about this time? Is there anything that comes to mind, or something that you don't want your 25-year-olds or 25 years from now self forget from this point?
That's fun.
That the privilege that it is to be in person together, because our whole relationship has been mostly distance, and it's, I don't know, we always are looking forward to just being with each other, and so the fact that we will be with each other in the same town, in the same house, all of it, is something that I hope we don't take for granted or just get used to.
Yeah. That's good. I'm gonna cry. I don't know. Getting emotional. But yeah, like kind of piggybacking off of that, yeah, just like the joy and like, no, I mean, adding on to that, just like no network failures, no, having to just long distance it and have to be so far apart. I don't even know where I'm going. But just like so excited just to be in each other's company. And so, and also with that, just like the love that we feel now, it's like in the way that we appreciate one another and just cherish one another. I know they say, there comes a moment where it's like you really have to choose love and really have to be hard, and we change and we adapt and we become different people. But it's just like, I don't know, I pray and I hope that, I don't know, we always strive for intimacy, strive for to care about each other like Christ, and to always seek the good, and seek what, I don't know, and not keep the records of wrongs and think of all those things and hold resentment and bitterness that goes unnoticed. And I'm big on communication, big on, just honesty and being open. I couldn't imagine holding anything back. And so I would hate if there was ever a moment when we were married that I was holding on to something and I didn't say anything, I'd always want to, just love you and love our relationship and care about it enough to have confrontation, to talk about those things and stuff that are maybe more difficult. And also too, I don't know, I'll be interested to know, Heidi, if you're watching this, like how I'll be, like will I be more, a big struggle I have right now is saying like, you're right, will I still be saying that all the time? Or like, will I be very like, I don't know, will I feel like I have more of a voice? Like Aidan doesn't shut me down, no one really shuts me down. Everyone wants to know what I think or stuff, but I never really say it. And so will I feel more comfortable with just being open and just saying what I want to do and stuff like that? And I hope I would. I feel like once we're married too, I'll just be like, do this, do that. Not trying to push you around, gosh no, but just be like, instead of beating around the bush, like mom gets at me all the time of like, Heidi, just what do you need? In a nice way. But I'm just like, so there's this thing that I just, and I just really, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, can I have $10? So just, I don't know, being just more to the point in that way, and just feeling confident in who I am and in the Lord to be able to just be honest.
Well, that's really sweet. I know for us, if we were to speak to our 25 years time from now for y'all as well, is that we'll be there for you. And so we love you too so much, and I know everyone else here in our family would say the same thing, that come 25 years from now and more, that we're here for you too. So.
Absolutely. Would there be anything, Matthew, that you would say to Heidi and Aidan for tomorrow with the wedding, like just to reminisce on and to really focus on, with the ceremony and with the time with your wedding party even? Yeah,
that time when she comes down the aisle, cherish that moment. And just let it all out then. Don't feel like you gotta be go hold it in. No. And then consider the weightiness of that time. That was one thing for me, where it wasn't burdensome, but it was heavy in a good way. Like, this is very meaningful. So understand the covenant that's about to happen, that it's before God, and so understand the weight of that, but it's a really precious thing. So
absolutely. Did you all write your own vows, or what does that look like for the ceremony?
We did not.
Okay.
Our officiant has them, kind of more tradition-ish vows. And then we'll do a first touch, not a first look. And we both wrote like a letter.
Yeah, it's a baby to have, I'm so sorry.
And
I'm trying to do a page.
Yeah, vows-ish.
Vows-ish, yeah. Right. Just like what we want to say to the other person on the day of. And so the idea is get back to back or something and just read the letter, or like I've seen other people in couples curse their name, or like they'll hold a hand over a corner or something. The cliche. Oh, I get that today. Sorry. But and so, but
That's awesome. Well, we love you so very much, and we're very excited for for tomorrow, and we're ready. So no, you are too.
I
Yes.
know.
Absolutely.
Are there any stories we wanted to say? Did you want to say anything stories wise? No.